And, you know, when he finally gets one, gets it close to one, hops it up just a little bit, they're reacting to it. You know, early in the morning, those fish might be up a little bit and moving around. Now he's just doing everything he can to try to get a good bite.
Casey Ashley, who's been preparing for this tournament basically his whole life, fishing something he's comfortable with here. Dean Rojas, maybe we've seen him fishing outside of his comfort zone in this. The same story for a few of our other anglers, and man, it's a test of skills and versatility.
Really, Rojas is the same position that Randy Howell was in yesterday, just getting to that 5 bass limit right now. So critical on this final day.
Yeah, but Dean has a lot of confidence. You know, he grew up in Lake Havasu. It's very similar to this. It's a desert lake. It's got real clear water to it, and you fish a lot of drains and ditches out there too. So he's, you know, this is right up his alley. Even though we're seeing him up there around the bank, he loves to throw a frog and he loves to flip, and he's a shallow water fisherman for the most part. He does have a lot of experience fishing this way.
Mike Iaconelli still got some headroom there, still shy of a limit. He can make a big impact on his score with one good hookup.
One thing, if you go back to 2008, Alton Jones throwing a 1/2 ounce jig. He was trying to get that thing to fall as slow as he could in that cold water. Then Iaconelli throwing a 3/4 and a 1 ounce. Explain that.
Well, one of the things when you have clear water like this is the rate of fall can really make a difference in getting fish that are neutral to react. So Mike is fishing a heavier jig, and a lot of his bites are going to come on that initial fall. So the faster fall of that 1 ounce jig, a lot of times will trigger a bass. It's going to fall quick. If he can get it to land close to one, they'll just react to it and bite it. And you know, that's what he's trying to go for. So I'm sure he's mixing it up, and each day you got to figure out what it's going to take in your retrieve and the rate of fall on your lure that these fish are going to want. So, you know, he's got several rigged on the deck of the boat, and he's trying to, you know, just trying to get a clue as what's the best way to go on this given day, you know, and it's a challenge. You know, right now all these guys are really intense, and it's tough. You can see there's no activity out there. There's no birds flying. There's not a ripple on the water. You know, it's just that time of the day where it's a grind, and you're just hoping to get yourself in a good area, and anything you can get this time of the day is a real bonus. They know that the window is closing, and they're trying to do everything they can to put themselves into position for that final hour.
Another thing Iaconelli said throughout practice, heading back to Dean Rojas, he said some of the crawfish that these bass would spit up were the size of lobsters. Dean Rojas, another end, just trying to get to number 5.
Dean Rojas catches a 5-pounder. He takes over the lead. We see these brutal days, but these guys are hanging in there.
Well, they know it's just one bite. You know, they're one bite away from immortality.
2 3-pounders for Ike. He takes over the lead.
As a fan, this is what you want.
Oh,
you know, I mean, I've been watching the Bassmasters Classic since, since I was like a little kid. And, you know, I mean, always, you know, I want to be there and I want to be in contention, but if I'm not, I want to see a race like this. And to watch it unfold right in front of your eyes on the final day, it's incredible.
Do you like winning the close ones, or do you like blowing them away, Kevin?
Well, I can tell you it's a whole lot funner like it was the last time in New Orleans when you know, before the tournament's even over, you know, in the afternoon.
Putting it away early.
That's right. All your competitors are right there with you. The one after that, right before that, you and the guy who was your chief competitor could see each other. You kind of knew what was happening there. Pittsburgh had to be a different story.
Pittsburgh was the most intense experience for me in my career, you know, because everybody knew there that 1 2-pounder could make the difference. So, and this is kind of similar to that. You know, we've got a really tight leaderboard. Everybody's real close together, and they're just trying to make it happen, you know. It's amazing. You know, Randy's kind of getting away from his bridge pattern a little bit, and you know, he's trying something different. He's trying to make something happen here. He knows that his window is closing, and he's just trying to make something happen.
This was about the time yesterday when Randy Howell decided to go to some of these shallower docks. You notice on any one of these docks, the slope of the bank, and throughout this tournament, the biggest fish have been on the shallower boat docks. Yesterday, Randy Howell with an enormous one at 130.
Starting to see a little bit of sprinkle on the water there. I mean, gosh, the best thing that could happen at this point is to get a little bit of weather, to get a rain, a good rain shower, something to trigger these fish, to get them fired up just a little bit. I mean, all these guys are they're just looking for that clue when that window of opportunity is going to open up.
Casey Ashley in the lead again. He's trying to be the first true local to ever win the history of the Bassmaster Classic on his home lake. Still live and back to Michael Iaconelli, 2003 Classic champion.
These guys are killing me right now. I'm just dying to see something happen. We're all just here. It's just I could watch this every day, all day.
I want to tell you something that this is pretty cool. It is exactly what has happened all tournament long. It's like the whole lake turns on at one time, and you start to see shots fired, boom, 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 and you see the leaderboard switch up. And when this lake has shut off during this event, everybody slows down.
One thing you don't really think about is what these camera guys in the backs of these boats go through. And the crew that we have on the Bassmasters is incredible. I mean, they travel the circuit all year long. Oh boy, he was getting twitchy there, but our camera guys are the best in the business. They have to have that camera on their shoulder all day long with the trigger pulled, because they can't miss that moment. They don't want to miss that hook set when Mike Iaconelli catches a 5-pounder or that fish bites. So these guys are just as intense at their job and what they have to do. They got to stay on point and be focused all day long too. It's tough because they're moving around. They feel the same things that the angler's feeling in the front of the boat. They feel that intensity.
Looking at the weights right now, Tim, we may go up a little bit. You say by the end of the day, we're definitely going to go up in weight to win this thing. Has it surprised you? Did you think more or less coming into this?
I guessed, based on when we had the conditions that we had, that I thought it was going to take about 16 pounds a day. I mean, before that, if we had a little, a good warming trend, or a trend where we had some wind, some good weather coming in that's going to make the fish a little more active, I thought it might be, a pound or two higher than that. But this lake is full of 3 and 4 pound bass, but it's hard to catch a 5.5 or 6 or even a 7-pound bass. There's just not a big population of big, truly giant fish like a Gunnersville has. So it's going to make for should make for a tighter race, and that's exactly what's happened this week.
And you're starting to see a lot of different things happening right now. Yep. Takahiro Omori had been out drop shotting, throwing a jig, really the entire tournament. The first time we're starting to see, though, as you say, Kevin, a decision is going to change this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has not gone to the bank and done this yet. Obviously, you can see the coverage at night. He's seen how the other anglers are fishing. This is Takahiro's strength right here. This is what he loves to do. This is how I expected him to be catching the fish. When I saw the first day, that Takahiro had a solid day, I thought for sure he was throwing a crankbait someplace, because that's what he loves to do. And here he is, making that change.
We've had some of our anglers say, our experts on stage say, hey, you need to be fishing something new every day of this classic. Do you subscribe to that theory?
Well, the biggest thing about Hartwell is it definitely is a specific spot type lake, but it's also a pattern lake in that you can fish the conditions. If you do get the wind, you can move around. The bait's going to move around, and those anglers that keep themselves moving have a greater shot, or I believe, in my mind, I have a better shot of getting myself into an area that has some activity in it. And right now, all of our anglers are just trying to make something happen. They're all moving. They're all trying to do some different things, and just trying to get a clue of something.